8,000 employees went on strike. And now a new survey of Kroger employees finds homelessness, poverty, and food insecurity are widespread. They work for a fucking supermarket. They sell food all day. Okay. 14% have been homeless in the last year.
It's crazy.
It's so frustrating, and it's like I don't even have the words really. But what's worse is 14% of workers are Kroger workers are now homeless or have been within the last year. More than a third say they fear being evicted. Now, why? There's a couple reasons. Now, a living wage would be $22 an hour, working full-time at $46,000 a year, but only 35% work full-time. So what they're doing is they're starving people to part-time wages, 32 hours a week, just under the full-time limit. All right? At $18 an hour, which amounts to less than $30,000 a year. Oh, and on top of it, the majority of Kroger workers have college or postgraduate education.
Right.
For $18, for less than $18 an hour. Gouging.
Wasn't it a kid who like worked at Kroger's or something like that?
A lot of people have worked at Kroger's and King Soopers and all their different Fred Meyer. Okay, 1/4 of Kroger workers say they went hungry because they couldn't afford food, and 14% get food stamps. Yeah. And they get a 10% discount on food. Yeah, thanks. Their work schedule is so unstable, they don't know more than a day in advance. How do you prepare? How do you have a life like that? And they're faced with customers who have refused to wear masks during the pandemic. Especially, I'm guessing, in the Florida area and in markets where they did not have any type of a mask mandate at any point.
I mean, I don't know if we have many Krogers in Florida, but I think we got a couple. You know?
Though it only covers Kroger employees, it's fair to assume that the problems it describes apply to grocery workers across the U.S., but indeed, the descriptions of poverty and lack of workplace safety and support match what workers at other grocery stores have told them repeatedly since the pandemic began, and actually that this might even be one of the better situations, believe it or not. So, the decline in working standards is not driven by the inability of grocery companies to provide for employees. Kroger, which employs close to 500,000 people, sold more than $132 billion in groceries with profits of $4 billion. They're not hurting. Since the pandemic, their stock has risen more than 40%.
Dude, 40% is crazy, man.
In a year and in 2 years. I mean, for a supermarket stock. Now, again, I don't know how much people follow the stock market, but supermarket stocks don't have that kind of velocity and that kind of growth.
Yeah.
But when everybody's locked away and there's only certain stores that they picked winners that they allowed to stay open, this is what ended up happening. And then there was the thing about Hero Pay, and I think that's in here too, but that they had increased pay in April and May of 2020, but they pulled that back almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, what, for like a couple months maybe?
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah. Yep.
So unionized grocery store workers have already begun pushing for many of these improvements during the pandemic. Big improvement is now all contracts are soon to be expiring by this summer or before. Okay, and there's a lot of growing solidarity for addressing grocery store workers' struggle for higher wages, more secure scheduling, improved safety, and more. They'll be pushing hard for these improvements in 2022. But what's worse, and I don't know if I see it here, but the CEO of Kroger made more than $20 million last year, while 14% of his workers went homeless. Gross. Gross. Hamilton Nolan, InTheseTimes, another member of the All-Star team. Big fan of that of that guy. I mean, sometimes InTheseTimes has good takes, sometimes they have not so good takes, but I can almost guarantee if it's a Hamilton Nolan article, it's going to be really quality. All right.
It's just, I mean,
Next.
it's one of the most common jobs in America, right? Like
half a
retail,
million
grocery
people
crap.
work for this grocery chain alone.
Yeah,
All right.
it's ridiculous.
Okay. Next, we're